video game devs, please, please, please give me the option to let your games run in the background so there's not awkward silence when I have to go to transition to take down starting soon text and the like. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, or whatever time it is for you. I return with more of the magical basketball game. I would actually love to do that. I should straight up put that on my my demo day list because I have heard so much about that game and it seems very funny. So honestly, maybe soon, Mushroom King. Maybe soon. For how many times I've referenced it playing Pyre, despite having not played the damn thing, I really ought to. I really ought to. Alright, I am playing this blind, but I'm pretty sure, unless they throw a major curveball my way, and it's super giant, so they might, I'm pretty sure that I'm almost at the end of the game, but we shall see. I'm down to only 4 members of my team, so, like, I feel like unless it shifts to, like, unless it pulls a brutal legend, and it's like, oh, hey, do an RTS thing with the players you sent over there and go run the revolution, which I would kind of be into. I don't see how else they can really lengthen this, at least in a core gameplay loop. God, I'm actually hoping now that, like, I get to, like, run the revolution over there. That would be rad. I don't remember what I was doing. Beyond just brought... Oh, right! It was time for another tournament to grant someone their freedom. Right. I don't remember who I was supposed to be facing, so I guess it'll be an unpleasant surprise. We will find out together. I do think it would... Oh, hello. Rude. Your wagon reels from the impact of some sort of massive object, slamming into it mid-flight. False Nightwings! Oralek calls down to all of you from atop his wagon. Again you seek to climb that cursed mountain beneath us. Again you seek to take my rightful place. I should send you crashing down to it that you might fall as I have. He stares down at all of you. But I shall not. Rather, we shall meet upon the summit, ere the last cycle of the rites is ended. Until then. Okay, but in the meantime, he's going to let us continue to, like, make a mockery in his eyes of everything that we've... Weird flex, but alright. Anyway, I very much want Pamitha to gain favor from the scribes, because she's amazing, and key to my strats. You make landing upon the sacred Mount Elodial after your encounter with Oralek. Oralek spoke the truth. He has a right to gain the summit. When the time comes, Celeste shall deem him worthy, and shall let him pass. While he has transgressed against the rites, he has also already been anointed, and prevailed. Nothing is written in the book on this, and liberty ought already be his. Before the time, it seems he has not yet traveled to the summit. Perhaps he is still making preparations with his fellow exiles. When exactly Oralek intends to make good on his promise, he did not make clear. For now, you are to confront Manly and the Chastity upon the summit. But first, you may prepare. Oh, that's right, I'm fighting the tree man. This is gonna be annoying. Seek the worm scribe's favor. Later that afternoon, you accompany Pamitha through the solemn beauty of Temple Cistern to the monument of Under King Ores. What do you do when all this is over, Pamitha? You gonna run away? Let's face it, you're probably not getting out of here. So then you can either live out your days under some rock somewhere, or maybe these who call you their friend, maybe they mean it. It is true, I don't intend on letting her ascend, because she doesn't seem to want it that much. She was only in this for her sister. You return to the wagon after she has finished paying her respects. The summit awaits, but first, there is time to continue practicing your vocations. +3 glory. Hell yes. I can still mentor. I think I'm way past the point where I need to forage for resources. Let me mentor, because I want to rig it so that I can ascend Volfred. Because Okay, hear me out. Tizo is an imp. Um, Tizo has no real connection to the other side, and is a literal native of the downside. Tizo's gonna be alright if I leave him here. Pamitha is only in this for her sister. And her sister is basically perma-trapped on this side. So, you know, if I leave her here, maybe the two of them can reconcile. I've only had Monster like once in my life, so I can't. Skip Volfred for now. Bertrude is only in this for her crush Volfred. That is literally the only reason she is here. Volfred, on the other hand, is the literal mastermind behind this whole revolution thing we've got going. He assembled the... Well, he didn't quite assemble the team, but he assembled the means to assemble the team. He set the original trio on the path. He provided us a black wagon. He provided us supplies. Volfred deserves to go back to the city. And, like, lead things, run things. That does sound nice. I think the only Monster energy drink I had, I really despised. The only energy drink I've been able to stand is, there's like an orange-ish flavor of Full Throttle. Granted, I haven't had it in like a decade, because I just don't with energy drinks anymore. He said, drinking on his hyper-caffeinated tea. But I don't know, I never got into energy drinks. My old college roommate was way into them, though. He literally had 2 cans of Full Throttle a day. Me, when I needed to stay up late to, like, write a paper or something, I would buy those, like, glass bottle Starbucks, like, Frappuccino things, because my body was so not used to caffeine, and particularly coffee, it would hit me hard enough that I could, like, run an all-nighter off the caffeine and the sugar. I wish my caffeine tolerance was that low now. Oh well. You ask Volfred to explain to you in his own words the histories of the 8 scribes, and speak to how their varied backgrounds form the basis not just of the rights, but of the Commonwealth. Oh yeah, there's so much sugar in those. I mean, if it had been available, actually probably my ideal college drink for those late nights would have been the Coke with coffee. The, like, dark coffee Coke with coffees. Those things slapped, and I can't find them anywhere anymore, and I'm pissed about it. Monster Chaotic Juice. Okay, if I'm ever in the market for an energy drink again, I will keep that in mind. Very Spanish of me? Really? How so? Okay, I think that's enough to edge him past Bertrude, so I think I can anoint him. I sometimes fear the spirit of the teachings of the scribes is already long forgotten back where we come from. Spain really loves coffee and Coke. Oh, okay. Huh. Juice monsters are just the best. That makes sense. Get a little more of, like, a natural flavor, or at least natural-ish. You know, enough for you to pretend. And this way, I'm gonna have a strong team for the final match. That is Bertrude. You know, my Lightning Witch build. Huge, fast, can wipe out multiple people at once with her spread shot. Pamitha, unstoppable aerial offense. Tizo, a good balance of both. Huge presence, can explode, can fly. Yeah. Ooh, Aussie Lemonade Monster? That sounds kind of good, too. Then again, every time I think... Well, granted, I haven't had an energy drink in a very long time. Certainly since before the Rona. I always think, like, oh, that sounds good, and then I take a sip and I'm like, ugh. Deep in the fading glory of Mount Elodial, you find a messenger imp looking to bring you the latest news and rumors from the other side. This time around, the imp brings tidings of Sir Gilman, and what happened to him since his liberation at the fall of Solium, when, at last, his self-imposed exile came to an end. That energy drink aftertaste is always what kills energy drinks for me. Just that, like, chemically tang, for lack of a better phrase. Y'all know what I mean, I assume. You learn that his return to the Commonwealth was met with much rejoicing. And that before long, he was promoted to the rank of Veiled Captain on the Blood Border. And yet, with tears welling in his eye, he did refuse the post. stating he no longer had the heart to fight against the High-Wing remnants as he once did. He then cast down his helmet, and when next anyone saw him, he was among Volfred's agents, having joined the revolution to reshape the Commonwealth from within. Hell yeah. Yeah, I imagine the sugar could help to cut that more. The trouble is the zero sugar ones would be the ones I would be going for now, because, you know, I ain't diabetic, but I've figured out that if I keep, like, processed sugar to a minimum in my diet, I feel better. Like, peace tea is about the hardest I can go with sugar anymore. And it's not a small amount of sugar they have in those cans, but I love it so goddamn much. I can't quit it. You thank the messenger imp for the report, and salute it crisply, as surely Gilman would have. Soon the news has everyone in the wagon talking. Hard sugar. The tears he shed ought to have been bottled, and thus set aside for use in various salves. Noble Gilman made the gallant choice, it seems. Our plan comes closer to fruition through his good example and support. Tizo feels inspired by the news of Gilman's selfless actions. One of the Sea Dominion's own, laying down his arms by his own choice. I'm honestly surprised, even having known him. The news of Gilman's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. +1 hope. I wish you good fortune, noble sir. You are returned once more to Scribe's Gate, where the Gate Guardian awaits under a dim sky. The Gate Guardian, everyone's favorite fusion monster from Yu-Gi-Oh? The exiles of the Nightwings. And you, Tarek. This is to be one of our final meetings. Greetings, Celeste. The Nightwings are prepared, and afterwards I would have words with you in private, if you please. It seems to me rather late for words now, Tarek, but I shall hear them once your charges cross the gate. Now all of you, come forth. Please state your names and what it is that you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. Once more your companions cross the gate, one after another, and once more you follow them in turn. Celeste regards you all, then waves you through toward the summit. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. And Tarek. Aye, Celeste. You may rejoin the others in a while. For now, I would hear those words of yours. Are they gonna bang? Certainly, Celeste. Everyone, I shall see you shortly. Ooh, shortly? Ooh, I'm sorry, girl. You deserve better. No, they're probably actually just talking. I just woke up uncommonly thirsty today, don't mind me. Oh, hey, guys, it's gotten real cold again up here. But it's worth it, let me tell you. Got a lot of customers been stopping by. Okay, I may have been exaggerating just a little since I've been waiting here a little while. Like, yes, but are you buying anything? That was infuriating, boys. Supergiant, I can't believe you've done this. Particularly over this beautiful song. I do want to buy the drugs. What do we even have left for talismans? Oh, that's right. I don't really need the Kerfang anymore because I've got Pamitha's thing. Which deals almost as much and has a chance to let her insta-respawn. Yeah, I guess I sell the Kerfang and buy more drugs. Yeah, sell the Kerfang and buy some more drugs. So that I can juice the hell out of my players for the final match that's coming up. Not this match, but the next. Alright, and who gets the +1 presence drug? I'm thinking that should be Bertrude, because she's already acceptably thick, but she could be thicker. Appreciate you doing business, and you guys be sure to tell your friends, okay? Funny how he's no longer cold after I've spent money at his shop. Funny how that works, as though it was all a thinly veiled ploy. Well done, Falcon Ron. I salute your ruthless capitalism. And thanks for the drugs. The time has come again to deliver one of your fellow exiles to a homecoming in the Commonwealth, lest your adversaries, the Chastity, achieve the same instead. The lone minstrel has returned and approaches as you await the signal from the stars. There is something that I wish to ask you, Rita. Something which ordinarily would not be my place to discuss in any detail. You have observed the stars. If you would not mind my asking you in such a direct manner, how many liberation rites are you supposing yet remain? 2 remain, including this one now. 2 remain. It's absolutely 2 remain. Because Oralek also has knowledge of the rites, and he's like, we'll see you soon. And, like, just in a meta sense, with how many players I have left, unless I'm going to be able to suddenly, like, create a basketball player and I take the field, or, like, I get Tarek as a last-minute party member, 2. 2. You tell him the only logical deduction which you have been able to make based on all of your readings of the stars of late, that there shall be one final liberation rite after tonight. I concur with your evaluation, Rita, sir. I wish to make certain that you are aware, so that you and the Nightwings may yet make the most of your remaining time together. Thus, as to what shall happen once the final liberation rite is ended, we soon shall both find out. But lo, it seems that we are called upon once more. Look forth. Oh, right. Turn off the Titan stars because I want to win, and I will play on Super Baby mode if I must. Also, almost everyone's max level anyway. All right.
Reader, I would ask that you think back for just a moment, if you please.
Okay.
When you first looked upon the Book of Rites, think back upon the words that it revealed.
Uh-huh.
Oblige the voice that tells you more.
Yeah.
Oblige the voice that tells you more. Would that the scribes were here among us still. I would not sing your praises to them, rest assured.
The voice is so
That
salty.
you shall savor this occasion.
I love it.
You shan't have to oblige me for much longer.
Oblige me. The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur. The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the chastity, come forth now and declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Manly flourishes onto the grounds and grasps his mask in spindly fingers. Boy, Past Me kind of screwed me over by being like, hey, the first match you're gonna have after taking a week off from playing this game is one of the tournaments. Damn you, Past Vimber. Warmest salutations to you all upon this blessed eve. I am H. Manly Tinderstaff, and I must say that I am very moved to be part of these proceedings. It shall be my humblest of privileges to return, quite soon, I hope, unto the Commonwealth, where I shall dedicate myself in full toward the betterment of that society. I long to be a part of this glorious tradition, even when my freedom is rightfully restored. For is it not the case that exiles such as we are called upon to lead? How you govern in your commonwealth is not our business here. Your intentions shall mean nothing if you do not prevail in the right, this right, Manly Tinderstaff. Oh, but I meant no offense at all. I shall serve well these rights, I promise. Why, I should think I shall be sending many exiles here into the downside to replace me. I can think of quite a few who I think would benefit from experiencing this wonderful tradition for themselves. Then Manly covers his face again. Now, as for you, Nightwings, Make no attempt to undermine me here, and nothing shall befall you or your loved ones in the Commonwealth. Is it a deal? No. I'm gonna eviscerate you. Nightwings, your choice. In whose name shall you conduct this liberation rite? I wish you the wisdom of the scribes in making your choice, Rita. And I wish you to come prepare our song with me, Tarek.
Whom shall you attempt to send home this time?
So salty. Also, this is going to be an extra slap in the face to Manderley that I anoint Volfred, who he absolutely despises. So, Volfred. There's so much to be done, should I or any one of us return. But let's focus on the here and now. We face a worthy adversary there in the Chastity.
Who shall strive for him?
Pamitha? The sooner we get out of this stuffy place, the better, if one were to ask me. And Bertrude, support your man. We are prepared to face our adversaries here and secure for that one his return. Now it begins! Do me this favor, if you please, and stand aside like a good sport there, I promise to reward you handsomely once I am free. Not gonna happen, my man. I'm here for the revolution. What? Why didn't that... What an idiot. Lightning Witch. Let's roll! Oh my god, I love Lightning Witch builds. So good. Good job putting it there, idiot. Oh, what? No, 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 no. Ah, damn it. Crap. Oh god. All I have left is him. Oh god. Please respawn, Pamitha. Please respawn, Pamitha. Please. Take it, take it! This is the problem with using Ascending Volfred. I'm really bad with him. Okay. Couple more good hits. Oh ho, what's this now? It seems to me the scribes so enjoy our company. The entertainment we provide, they have deigned to reignite our pyres. Observe. Something stirs in the sky. If the heavens are to rain and reignite your pyres, then the rite shall continue, ere one pyre or the other is put out. Do I at least get boosted? No, I don't get boosted. Alright, I'll just go fuck myself then. Understandable. It's Lightning Witch time. Boys, girls, and other configurations of being. She's so fast, I love it. Also, that basically undoes your bullshit bonus health gain. Oops. Screwed that one up. I'm just gonna camp. I'm just gonna camp. I am straight up gonna camp. Whoop! Ah, crap. This is fine, this is fine. No, damn it. Ah, he's so on top of those jumps. But what if I... okay, that didn't work. Okay, that's fine. We take a little damage, I can tank that. Now I have Lightning Witch back. Regain my stamina, and charge. It's like they just can't stop it. They just straight up can't. I am too quick. Ooh, that is not a lot of barriers for me to work with. But I can adjust. There's only one hit left to go. Go forth, unstoppable Lightning Witch! No! You know what they say, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Let's see. Tricky. Flyover plant? Oh no, they were right on top of that. Okay. Yes, I shall take it, voice. What a chump. Go, go, go! So simple.
Nightwings proved their worth. Their adversaries they defeated utterly.
Indeed.
Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen the exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free.
This voice actor is so good.
Absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
You can, like, hear his depression and disappointment. You can hear his heartbreak, and he's like, no one can stop these Nightwings. Ugh. Why, this is an utter outrage! Have you any idea what you've done, you ingrate? Bye, bitch. I am indebted to you all. Words fail me, but I shall try and force a few, as now I haven't long. The plan of which we're all a part, it cannot, by its nature, be dependent on any given individual, and that includes myself. We each face doubt from time to time, and I became quite certain I would never see the Commonwealth again, the stars fading and all. That outcome would have been acceptable to me, provided that our plan prevailed. My agents in the Commonwealth, and those of you who managed to return, united, you for certain can achieve much more than I, or any one of us. Nevertheless, if I'm to be the next one to return, then I've my work cut out for me, I think. He falls silent for a moment, then. Nightwings, this has been the greatest honor of my time. I now take leave of you, to do my very utmost to ensure the sacrifices you have made for me, our nation, all of us, that those sacrifices shall not be in vain. Then he reaches out to you, alone.
Until we stand again together.
Until we stand again together, Volfred. With that, Volfred Sandalwood vanishes into the Shimmer Pool. He calls out from within, as his return journey begins. Stand together, all of you. No matter what shall come, I shall see you on the other side. We may be separated soon by distance, but our purpose remains shared. Scribes guide you. Volfred earned back his freedom. May he return in glory.
Godspeed, Volfred Sandalwood. The cycle of the rites is nearly at an end.
And that is max level for our Harpy. I used to soar above the mountains with the high-wing remnants. We would see the Commonwealth shining down on the horizon. It enraged us, the mere sight of it. I can fly free no longer, yet that anger, I don't feel it anymore. Let's see, instantly switches places, or fast. I don't really care about either of these. The swap places maneuver might be good. We're not quite at max level yet. Not quite. Very curious to see how this probably final tournament is going to play out. You return to the wagon after having prevailed against the chastity in the liberation rite. That's one less mouth to feed. Would that we make good of all such incidents. You succeeded in liberating Volfred, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. Soon you shall be summoned back to Mount Elodial for one final liberation rite, and thus one final chance to influence the outcome of your plan. So many events already in motion, but even as you wait for them to happen as they will, there is still something vital you can do. Tale, this is Pyre, made by Supergiant Games, the same people who made Hades, Bastion, and Transistor. A game where you play magical basketball to rescue your prisoners from Fantasy Australia back into a place called the Commonwealth, which we're also trying to incite a revolution in. It's pretty rad. And also the only Supergiant game that I hadn't beaten yet. Now, reader, if you please, I fear the stars have little patience left. You turn back toward the darkness to look upon the last few stars too stubborn to relinquish their light. The scribed stars yet burn for you atop the sacred mountain. Where do they lead? Also, hello, good to see you. Yeah, this one, I did hear about it, but when I heard it was like kind of sports themed, I was like, maybe I don't. Alright. Ooh, 90% probability of success. I only have one right till the next liberation. I definitely need to fight the Pyre Hearts and win, because I really do not want to face them in a tournament. But the Dissidents are also bad. Ugh. Both of these are going to be rough. Wait, the Chastity is crossed out? The Chastity no longer have any real chance of freedom before the rites are ended. Get absolutely destroyed. Wait, does that mean the others do if I threw a game to them? Let me see what my options are. Let's see, the Tempers, the Essence, or the Dissonance. So I can't face the Pyre Hearts, which is bad, because I would love to knock them down. So maybe I throw a match versus the Dissidents? Or maybe if I throw a match against... Now, the Tempers and the Essence are also really tough crews. This is the problem, like, if I want an easy setup for my last tournament, really the only one that's easy to beat is the Accusers. Everyone else has at least one danger. Like, Tempers ain't bad, because their leader is a demon, but then they have two dogs, which are just really hard to stop. Because defense is my weakness. My team is relentless offense. And if I'm forced on the back foot at all, things rapidly start falling to shit. And that's the trouble. The Pyre Hearts can be faster than me. Yeah, imagine, right? Man. I don't know, I'll just face the Tempers, and whatever happens, happens. Once more, you ought to face the Tempers, then. Although, I wonder... He hesitates before saying anything further. You cannot sense his thoughts. I apologize. I was lost in thought there for a moment. Let us make our way for the Ridge of Gold when everyone is feeling more refreshed, as much as possible. Tizo, what you got, little buddy? Since Volfred disappeared into the Shimmer Pool after the Liberation Rite, Tizo has been in a rather sullen mood. You can imagine why. Apart from the Lone Minstrel, he has known Volfred longer than anyone among you. Just then, the Lone Minstrel joins the both of you. It had to be this way, Tizo. I trust you understand. Tizo indicates he understands, though it does not make him less sad right now. I understand, in turn. The little imp runs over to him then. They hold each other tight for a moment. Aww, I wish I could have, like, art of that. That sounds really cute. Volfred is now in a position to fulfill his plan firsthand. It is an opportunity which he did not expect to have, yet I am certain he shall take. Though, I do understand the sense of sorrow at the thought of never seeing him again. Tizo coos plaintively at this. Take heart, Tizo. We may all see each other yet, and if the stars decide we cannot do so in this life, then we shall do it in the next. Is that not so? Tizo manages a smile. That is better. Then he turns to you. Thank you kindly, reader. It is not my role or in my nature to play favorites in all this, and yet I must say, it gladdens me that Sandalwood is soon to make his mark again upon your land. Tizo likewise wishes Volfred well in his return and long thereafter. That sounds more like the Tizo whom we know. Now, let us see if we might find something to eat at this late hour, Tizo heartily concurs with the lone minstrel's suggested course of action. Begging your leave, reader, sometimes a late-night walk out in the cold is good for Tizo's spirits. Until the morning, we are grateful to you for all that you have done for Volfred. They head out into the dark. Volfred, the one-time leader of the Nightwings, you wonder just what sort of impact someone such as he may have back in the Commonwealth. You know full well his loss among the Nightwings is going to be felt, even as the plan of which you are a part comes that much closer to fruition. It just makes tactical sense to have him over on the Commonwealth side. Like, the work in the downside is almost complete, and he is the little architect. He is the mastermind. He needs to be closer to the action. So if there's any last-minute fine-tuning or adjustments, he can be there to make them. From a moral and a tactical sense, I'm convinced I made the right choice. Also, more lore. There was something about legacy in there. Was afterward? No. Commonwealth? Kinship? Yeah, there was something about legacy that I unlocked. Where was that? Flagging hands, living in exile. First... Huh. Or maybe it was in the foreword? No. Huh. I'm sure I'm being a dumb streamer and just missing it, but... C'est la vie. It is daybreak. You are to set forth now for the Ridge of Gold, for what appears to be the final time. Thereafter you shall return here, for one last exile's final chance at liberty. To the skies! So, I need to start thinking who I'm going to try to liberate the final time. I think it's going to be Pamitha. You can hear the angry hissing coming from Udmilda all the way from your position.
We think, mayhaps, the skies belong to ye. Foolish. The skies and everything above them and below belong to the astral born. He shall be smitten from his skies on his awakening. Now be gone!
Sorry, jeez. I'm thinking... out of my options, either Tizo or Pamitha. I don't think Bertrude gives a damn about escaping. Oh wait, was that the dog? Ow. I wanted to voice the Cockney dog again. Oh well. So I probably should have faced him in the rights, but I didn't want any chance of facing his team. Oh, a pleasure to encounter you within the skies themselves, O Nightwings. They deliberately crashed into us, Father, yet still you address them in such a cordial manner. Now, Alma, I am certain that this was an honest accident, and appears no lasting damage has been done. Please take the helm, as I shall go and start to pick up all the fallen artifacts, which shook free from the walls after the impact. Perhaps some of these old heirlooms may yet be repaired with adhesives, drawn from certain flora we may find along our long and difficult quest. Damn you, Nightwings! You stay away from us! I like the old dog. He's one of the ones I wouldn't have minded seeing ascend, if I did happen to lose. Amitha has an interest in this route. You sense an unusual presence here, bearing word of your... That's a weird option. I want to see where this goes. contact the apparition. As you walk through a dark corner of Hollow Root, you sense the presence of some sort, which reaches out to you. It presents to you a vision of the adversary you expect to face in the coming rite. The apparition is aware of your next adversary in the rites, Ignarius. It offers to sway the coming rite against him, in your favor. Except, and your adversary shall suffer a misfortune that inhibits his performance. Nothing permanent, it claims. Decline, and the apparition shall extend its offer to Ignarius instead. I accept with gratitude. All's fair in love and basketball, that's how the saying goes, right? You thank the apparition for its generous offer, and accept what it proposed. A moment later, the apparition folds in on itself and disappears. As you head back to the Black Wagon, you cannot help but wonder what exactly it intends to do. Ignarius shall suffer -2 presence. Victory at any cost. We cannot afford to lose. Even if that means I have to cheat harder, then, I don't know sports. The Patriots? I don't know. Who's a cheater sports team or man? I don't know these things. I don't get into the sports ball. Deflategate, exactly. I don't know, did they ever, was Deflategate, real, or was it all, bullshit? I never actually learned that. Hey, guys, say, what are you guys doing all the way back here? You know it's not so bad here. I was thinking, and I got some pretty good stuff. I think you ought to check it out. You don't have any more drugs, therefore you are useless to me. Fare thee well, Ron. See you guys. Commence the rite. Yeah, that's also the thing. I just saw memes about it, and I didn't care enough to actually look into the truth of the situation, because it's sports, and I don't give a damn about sports. After making all the necessary preparations amid the untamed reaches of the Ridge of Gold, you and your companions await the commencement of the rites. It is quieter even than usual at the onset of such events. The lone minstrel appears, bearing some sort of news. I have checked, and it appears as though the Tempers have not yet arrived, reader sir. There is no sign of Ignarius, or anyone. Their sigil is not set, either. If what he says is true, and your adversaries are not present, then you presume the rite cannot commence. However, the stars themselves soon indicate you are mistaken. Wait, do I literally get a bye? If I'm getting a bye, what if I turn on every last Titan star if they're just gonna give it to me for plus 50% experience? Let's go full scumbag here. Victory at any cost.
All of the Titan stars. Sheer madness.
That's
Leader, the Commonwealth, your home.
yes.
Today it is aflame,
Ooh,
much like a stack of books.
the revolution started?
Aflame because of you. Because of your outlandish plan.
Hell yeah.
Not that you care. Not that you shall live to see this place again. Your attempts at revolution shan't succeed. Though by all means, keep trying.
I think you missed the part where
As
I'm the
for myself,
protagonist.
I shall enjoy presiding over these remaining rites.
Yeah, I can really hear it in your voice. The rite is set to commence, but your adversaries, they have failed to show. We take this for an act of acceptance rather than cowardice. 'Twould seem the rites have nothing left to offer them. Indeed, as the rites are drawing to a close, some of the triumvirates whom you have met, perhaps they are beginning to decide the stars are not worth heeding any longer. Ignarius, you wonder whether he would give up on the rites like that. He did seem rather disaffected, having failed in the liberation rite before. Perhaps he did finally decide to quit, for good. In any case, we've begun the ceremony here, and so I ask that we end it.
Who shall bestow
You're so salty, dude. Calm down. But yeah, I only have 3 players left, so...
It is done.
We take no pleasure snuffing out a flame disowned.
Lo, even your adversaries have abandoned you. And it is done. Nightwings prevail by default.
We take those.
Not that their adversaries even care.
We take those. Victory at any cost. Scree! Tizo is disappointed to have had to end the right this way.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes.
It didn't give me experience. Well, that's fair. All I did was have Tizo walk to the other side of a small field.
Now go and wallow in the downside for a while.
Fine. I will. No one speaks further of the tempers back at the Black Wagon. Everyone is instead preoccupied with the right to come. Whoop. Tizo can scarce believe this is to be the final opportunity to liberate one of your own. The stars always shine with truth. The ending of the cycle of the rites is now upon us. He looks over to you. Please look forth, reader sir, and see for yourself. You may well surmise where we are going next. I'm sure it's to the fall of Solium. Sorry, don't mind me, just fixing a minor thing that is bugging me. Okay. Wait, no, that didn't get it. Sorry. Sorry. 1 second. 1 second. Tiny black... There we go. Oh my god, that was driving me crazy. The others turn to you as well. You turn toward the wagon's door. You know what you shall see out there. Now, however, the time has come to face it. The dim and fading light of the final star still pierces through the darkness, demanding your attention, guiding you toward the end point of your path. You see plain the golden star of Solium. Look upon it for the last. Might be short stream today. Also, Volfred's planner. Wait, they all bowed out? Oh, right, because I'm facing the other Nightwings team. The last remaining stars shall soon be gone. We have this one last chance to get one of us out. May the scribes be merciful to us all. 93% chance of success of the revolution, based on Volfred's calculations, so we'll just have to see how we get on. The true Nightwings. I got absolutely crushed last time, but now I'm more powerful. And I'm bringing my A game. And a shitload of drugs. You are summoned to the fall of Solium for your 7th and final liberation rite. Thus shall the cycle of the rites be ended for an age. You sense that if the rites shall commence again, it shall not be during your lifetime, or that of any of your companions, even the longest-lived ones. The stars reveal to you one thing more. The adversary whom you face shall be Oralek. Already is crossed Scribe's Gate, and awaits your arrival. If the 8 scribes created the Nightwings in their own likeness, perhaps it is only fitting that the Nightwings should, in the end, be forced to face themselves. It is a shame that we should have to confront Oralek in the end. Our goals should never have been at cross purposes. I am surprised that this is what the scribes desire. For now, it may be best that you recover until dawn. Regain your strength as best you can for the coming trial. Rest well, reader. The group disperses as exhaustion sets in. At dawn, you fly to Mount Elodial to make a final effort to achieve your plan and get somebody home, but who? And wow, that's a lot of pages revealed. That's so many pages revealed. Oh my god. What? Oh, it's probably the details of the Titan stars. I don't know that I'm actually that interested in those. Yeah, let me just go straight to... So I don't break things up once I fly to, like, start the final tourney. I'm gonna take my break now, because the hyper-caffeinated tea I'm always sipping during these morning streams is running right through me. And then, one last time, we shall take part in a glorious tournament and see how the revolution and our magical basketball shall end. Hope you'll stick with me. I don't think I'd realized just how ominously silent the game had grown. Sorry to leave you all with that. Not exactly the most interesting thing for an AFK, but oh well. And yes, I know the ad's still running. This is just for you, the subs. The dread I just experienced.
Your so-called friends. You are accomplice to their hateful plot. They are
Yes.
exploiting you. You shall never have your freedom.
It is true. I kind of accepted that. At least this is a way for me I'm thinking from my character's point of view, this is a way to leave a legacy. This is a way to leave a mark on the world. Even if I can't get back myself, I can still strike back, take my revenge against those who wronged me for exiling me for the crime of, checks notes, being able to fucking read. So, you will not dissuade me, boys. Though I love it when you talk to me. By dawn, you are already up and about after a troubled slumber. The Black Wagon is prepared for its final voyage to the fall of Solium. No one speaks. Solone abandoned. I mean, clearly that's kind of the feeling that they were going for. As you lift into the skies, the lone minstrel raises his voice, cutting through the sober mood. Reader, a certain olden ballad comes to mind just now. I think it may befit the circumstance. Perhaps it may help to pass the time along our flight. Would you mind it very much if I were to play this song for the Nightwings? Absolutely. Hit me with that amazing supergiant music. You urge the lone minstrel to play his ballad so that all among you might hear it. He begins without another word, and I will not step on this song.
journey shall be made. The journey shall be
made. And that perfectly syncs up with flying at normal speed, getting to god damn Supergiant. Ugh. This is I don't know. Man. I don't want to speak ill about the game just after that amazing little song, but like I don't think this is going to be my favorite game from them, not even close, but even if it's a game of theirs I like less than the rest of their stuff, this game still fucking slaps. Because it's like the lesser of still an amazing set of games. Because god, they kill it with the music and kill it with the art direction every time. And usually the story's pretty good and the gameplay's good too. It's just they can do no wrong. They're one of the few devs that in my book can do basically no wrong. So do I want to buff Bertrude or Pamitha? Honestly, Bertrude is kind of my star player at this point. Something appears different now about the sacred mountain west of here. The lands near Emperor's Ascent and Emperor's Fall appear ashen. On the other hand, the once precarious regions below, which you know as Temple High Road and Temple Cistern, seem swept clean by the elements. The lone minstrel observes all this alongside you. Inclement weather we have lately seen, reader sir. We ought be able to make landing closer to Scribe's Gate now. Then I suppose this means we shall soon see Celeste once more. Then I shall go tell everyone to prepare for landing. Prepare for another happy landing. You touch down amid the sheer cliffs of Mount Elodial to make pilgrimage to the summit for one last time. There, one last liberation rite shall soon commence. There, one last exile shall regain his or her freedom. All others shall remain to carry out their sentences here in the downside for the remainder of their lives. And in the Commonwealth, the plan of which you are a part shall either come to fruition or shall be suppressed. Seek the cursed scribe's favor. After having landed, you join Bertrude on an expedition to the monument of Jomer Manymane for what is likely to be the final time. We beseech ye, ancient gods of the last age, and we invoke thine aid. We have traveled far to gain this summit many times and looked steadfast with our compatriots who seek to leave this place. We now offer ye our services eternally, if ye would grant us such a boon as to ensure our triumph in the coming night. Long would we serve ye, O ancient gods, should you accept our offer here and now. Soon she is finished. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Jomer Manymane has shown you favor. At dawn, you shall begin your last ascent. For now, your vocations may occupy what little time you have to spare. +2 presents. Okay, that's good. I'm way past the point of needing resources. Let me just see if I can sneak someone up to max level. Ametha's already there. Who is closer out of the two of you? You need 570, you need 620. So either of them will do it, since a private lesson is 1,000 enlightenment. But Bertrude is kind of more important to my offense than Tiza. Well, let me actually look at the... turn them into fast-moving howlers, charge up the Aura Blast. Okay, so I can get her shotgun blaster. What would I be giving Tizo? Faster respawn after exploding? Or shotgun blast. Shotgun blast. Very well then, educate us if thou canst. You and Bertrude review what observations you have made thus far about the various triumvirates you have confronted on your journey. She has keen insights about some of them. Long have we sought to fathom all the darkest secrets hidden by the light of the stars. Now at last the stars themselves revoke their station in the night, and we have finally achieved an inkling of this. Ooh, or faster charge up? Nah. Shotgun blast. Those who deign confront us, we shall give increasing reasons to beware. Alright, one last time. I'm worried because I got absolutely crushed the last time I faced this guy. I hope the insane amounts of drugs that I have in the caravan are going to be enough. Here in the narrow passageways of Mount Elodial, you encounter a messenger imp sent to deliver you the latest news and rumors from the other side. You learn this imp was personally sent by Volfred himself, to fill you in on all the latest happenings with him since he was liberated at the fall of Solium. On arriving in the Commonwealth, he was taken in with open arms and soon offered a seat among the Justices of Peace. He admits that he was quite taken aback by everything at first. Governing body widely considered the most influential. Past sentencing, yep. So he would be in charge of, or not in charge, but at least a voice among who would get thrown into the downside, which is interesting. But he of course refused, stating his belief that the traditions of the Commonwealth have been corrupted over the many years. Such remarks put him in real danger. In the next moment, however, he was whisked to secrecy and safety by his sons and daughters of the Revolution in a daring raid. The Commonwealth claims he perished in the brazen act. Now, Volfred continues his work to find a way to bring home all the rest of you, and to transform the Commonwealth according with his plan. He closes with a message to you all. Have faith. We shall prevail together in the end. You thank the imp for bringing you this news, which gets all your companions talking. Tizo is very exciting knowing Volfred is alive and well back in the Commonwealth.
He has his convictions, I will give him that. But convictions can't erase the centuries of enmity between my people and the Commonwealth.
Unsurprising. From all our years, we know him for a stubborn sort. His will cannot be shaken. May the scribes keep watching over you wherever you may go, sir. Even if the rites themselves shall cease ere your plan is achieved in full. The news of Volfred's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with resolve. The messenger imp accepts a small bite to eat from you and hurries away. +1 hope. We wish you luck, Volfred. You stand before the Scribe's Gate with your companions. The gate guardian is there, as ever, but you sense something different in her.
The exiles of the Nightwings, we shall not meet again after the coming rite. Tarek and I, it shall be time we take our rest, I think.
Greetings, Celeste. I would tell you that the Nightwings are prepared, though this time I'm uncertain anyone amongst us feels thus.
We have a duty to uphold, Tarek.
And then what, Celeste?
And then nothing, not for the rights or us. Not till the dawn of a new age. Now, Nightwing, step forward. Please state your names and what it is that you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate.
One by one, your fellow exiles approach her, and now with sureness in their step.
I'll go. Tamitha Thane. I came seeking my blood sister Tamitha's forgiveness, since she ended up in here because of me. Maybe something good can come of it, as yet.
We are called Big Bertrude. We seek to fulfill the plan of Sandalwood, for we are fond of him and his beliefs, and then to go about our business. Tizo believes that his ancestors are watching over the Nightwings, and seeks to live up to their legacy. Finally, you step forth once more. You, a crippled scholar who seeks revenge against the Commonwealth, which wronged you, and who managed to come this far with this group. The Gate Guardian observes you for a moment, then motions past the archway toward the summit.
The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Except for you, Tarek. You stay right there.
I thought you said...
The rites are not yet ended, Tarek.
He looks to her, then over to the rest of you. Pardon me, everyone. I shall be there when the stars align. The Gate Guardian and the Lone Minstrel remain together as the rest of you depart. Abandoned together? What's wrong with me? I just looked over at chat and the last thing I saw was HD saying abandoned, so my brain was like, say abandoned. I should not be doing that when I'm in the middle of voicing a line. I never learned. You have gained the summit of Mount Elodial for the 7th time, the final time in which any one of you shall have a chance to leave the downside. Your legacy indeed. Falcon Ron? Hey guys. I guess you probably heard the big news, huh? Yeah, I'm going out of business here, I guess. Just hasn't been the same, you know, what with the stars all fading out and stuff. Anyways, just wanted to say, you guys are great, and I am sure am gonna miss having you guys as customers and all of that. But I got some good news, though, too. All my stuff, it's on sale now, and I will throw a little extra there just for you, okay? So, enjoy, and maybe I'll be seeing you guys around, okay? Henceforth, all of Falcon Ron's goods are 5% off. Great. 5% off for his going out of business. Falcon Ron is the worst, and I love him. Anyway, I've already bought out his supply of drugs, so I'm good. Let me actually distribute the drugs. So let's see, I have hope, presence, quickness, hope, quickness, presence. So I have enough to give everyone presence and 2 people quickness and hope. Tizo is probably going to be the one left on defense. So I think I should actually buff up his hope as much as I can. Because he'll be the one defending our Pyre. So the other 2, it matters a little less. Let's see, this has him returning in 5 seconds. That's not enough. More drugs. Okay, and then I give... Ooh, presence for Tizo would be a good idea as well. Yeah, actually, I just give him all the presence drugs, and then I give quickness drugs to my 2 offensive peoples. Last sale ever. How's about 2 cents off? Save you some pennies. Penny saved is a penny earned. Exactly, Antihero. It's straight up kind of what he did. Presence drugs for Tizo. And Pamitha, you get these drugs that are almost certainly not cocaine. And Bertrude, you get this almost certainly not cocaine drugs. This guy has no idea what he's up against. Still. Well, I guess maybe I should pack it up for the day. Commence the final liberation. You have gained the summit of Mount Elodial for the 7th time. Very few stars remain above to light your way as you await the commencement of the final liberation rite. The Lone Minstrel finds you clutching the Book of Rites, seeking there, perhaps, some bit of wisdom that has eluded you thus far. Rita, we may not have a chance to speak again after this. I may have to go. I wish to say that I am grateful for having made your acquaintance. I shall remember you with fondness. I wish you well, this night and always. Go forth with glory. The nose clams. Then he looks up and extends a hand in friendship. You clasp it. You see Bertrude has joined you. All your companions are there with her, in fact. Read one. Thou art both wiser and less irritating than most others of thy kind. We have learned something from thee, and we are grateful. Well, reader darling, what do you say we give those old scribes a real show to remember, then? Shall we? Tizo wants you to know he has the utmost faith in you. I've never tried Satisfactory, but it doesn't seem like it would be my kind of game. You look upon your fellow exiles, your companions, with whom you have withstood the downside, and with whom you shall now conduct this final rite. Begging your pardon, but my time has come. We shall see each other soon. He departs. After this night, the outcome of Wolfred's plan, the plan of which you all have been a part, shall be decided, one way or another. For now, all you can do is strive to prevail against your final adversaries, so that one last companion may go free. You rise to join your fellow exiles as the last remaining stars ignite. The final liberation rite of this age shall now commence. Mere distance cannot separate our spirits. Oh hey, right, the Titan stars. Let's just turn all of those off, because this guy, if it's anything like the last time I faced him, is gonna give me one hell of a fight. Plus, it's the final battle. I think. Let's do this.
Look, for one last time, upon the fall of Solium, dear reader.
Looking.
Hear me for one last time. For soon, the few remaining stars shall fade away, leaving you stranded there for your remaining days.
Yep.
In that forsaken land where you deserve to be. The rabble that you roused here in the Commonwealth shall be put down. The exiles whom you liberated all shall fall in line. But first, let us get on with this last liberation rite.
Let's.
You face none other than yourselves. Each so unlike the glorious Nightwings of yore. 'Tis a shame that one of you shall soon be free. For you deserve each other.
Yeah. I'm scoring all the field... Wait, no, field goals is an actual term in basketball. I am obtaining all the hat tricks, Dread. The pyre's burned, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. You're actually just in time for the final match, I think. But before the lone minstrel can concur as per the custom... Not another word! The demon Aurelek slowly raises his clawed fingers to his mask. The false Nightwings have arrived at last. Long have I awaited this. My freedom once was stolen from me. Then I was cheated of it here upon this mountaintop. You may now attempt to take it from me once more. He stands there for a moment, silent. Then, Aurelek dons his mask and stands prepared. May these damned rites cease forever for the misery which they caused. He angry. Nightwings, we shall not meet again after tonight, for the cycle of the rites is all but ended. Thus I would have your decision. On whose behalf shall you conduct this final liberation rite? The one whom you anoint, or else the exile Aurelek shall be returned. Godspeed, Rita. You know what is at stake better than I. I have the utmost faith in you to make the best decision and conduct this rite with glory. Nightwings, the star's remaining light grows dim. Your decision, please. Shooting touchdown hole-in-ones against the goalies? Exactly. Valier Fire, yeah. Oh man. It is time now to choose who, if anyone among you, shall go free this one last time. The rest of you shall remain in the downside till the end of your days. One by one, you meet the gazes of each of your fellow exiles. Give me your pitch, guys. Tizo. Bertrude. Wait, there's red text? Oh, just their character descriptions. Pamitha. Your fellow exiles. Your companions. Your friends. Together you would come this far, but now the downside and the rights conspire to tear your group apart and disrupt your plan. Wait, what do you mean? No, the pressure is too great? Is there no other way? I gotta think about this. The fact that they're giving me this option, it is fascinating. I quit, no more. I don't think it's quite that. It's more like just I refuse to choose one of us. Maybe I can choose all of us? No, that doesn't make any sense, though. Because, like, if I anoint no one, then, like, no one would be able to escape, right? Maybe 3 stay behind instead of 2? Maybe? The trouble is, I don't know if this is gonna lock me in. Like, if I choose no, the pressure is too great. I am fascinated. I want to see what lies behind that, but I don't know if it's gonna be like, oh, okay, nobody gets to go on, or, like, just wins automatically. Or, like, I can have, like, a conversation with the Gate Guardian and the Lone Minstrel about, like, hey, is there anything else we can do here? Oh, man. Is this... Yeah, basically, is this a real choice? It's... Supergiant is not big on false choices, generally, if they're doing something like this. I'm a little too worried about the possible consequences of what happens if I hit no. No, there's no way to save state this. The game, auto-saves. Yeah, Dread, if you're... Yeah, Dread, if you're offering. If you could look it up, or if anyone in chat happens to know this game, chime in. I am fine being spoiled in this case. Just like, is this a permanent choice or not? This are you prepared to choose? Because if it's not a permanent choice, I want to see what happens if I pick no. But if it locks me in to whatever comes next, then I'm gonna pick yes. All I want to know is, am I locked in after this choice or not? And I'm like second guessing my I'm so indecisive. This is what happens when I like play most games picking the dirty centrist option. The game's like, no, you can't fence it any longer, and I'm like, no, but I want to fence it. Also, this almost kind of seems like it is a real choice. Okay. Noted. There is no turning back, then. With but a glance, you reassure your fellow exiles that you know what to do. Thank you, Dread, for looking that up.
One final opportunity for salvation.
Too bad for the rest of you.
Okay, so what are the stats? His glory is down to 20 as present. He is so fast. They're all at max rank. He's got a savage and an imp with him. Oof. This is gonna be brutal. Who do I anoint? Bertrude doesn't really seem to want to escape. Tizo just kind of wants to be with his friends. Pamitha, I kind of feel like there's nothing left for her here. Like, her sister still hates her. And she's been so key to my victories. I think Pamitha deserves it the most. Let's get you a dub, girl.
I'd tell you that you made a terrible mistake there, reader darling. But I think you haven't made as many as I have, so I'll try not to mess this one up for either one of us.
Your choice is cast. As for your other companions, you sense a clarity of thought and purpose in each of them. They stand ready to support Pamitha, as well as you.
Who shall stand with her? Tizo.
Tizo is ready to do whatever it takes to see Pamitha regain her freedom this night.
Bertrude.
Thy will is ours, Reading One. Let the remaining stars shed their last light upon our ceremony here.
The choice is cast.
These are to be my adversaries, then. And who is it, I wonder, who asserts his will over that group? You sense Orlek, searching for you almost. reaching out to you. You, the shadow of the false Nightwings. They are nothing to me, but you who would relinquish your own liberty for the sake of them? Strange. It is fitting, then, that I should have to face one such as you. Then Orlek stands at the ready, signaling for his two allies to do the same. The light of dawn, the cycle of the right shall cease. Let us see if we can finish this ordeal before that time. The sky above begins to shudder. The final liberation rite is about to commence. Tarek! I am prepared, Celeste. Then let our song this evening shake the stars themselves. Aye, Celeste. Let us make sure of it. Let's go. Tizo? Tizo fumbles with his mask. Tizo recognizes Orlek and greets him tentatively. It is good to see you. Orlek reaches for his mask in turn. Wait, what is this? How is the horn? Mended? Tizo indicates that his horn has not bothered him for a long time now and thanks Orlek for it. That's right, Orlek was a doctor. Good. Full recovery then. But it is unfortunate to see you standing there with them, Tizo. Come with us. No questions asked. The proposition seems to catch Tizo off guard. Tizo indicates that he will not abandon his friends or their quest. He seems to be pleading with Orlek to stand down, to listen, to not give in to anger. But Orlek shakes his head. He puts his mask back on. This is something I must do, little one. Tizo dons his mask in turn. He chirps nothing more. Interesting. Oh god, I forgot how fast he is. Thanks for getting... What?! That's fine. I got a full team that can do offense on my behalf. Ah, damn it, they got me. Ah, okay. I made them work for it a little bit. What? He passed it to himself? That's dirty. Anyway, Lightning Witch cannot be stopped. The sky rains ash. Soon shall your Pyre zone mingle with them. Just then, the skies above begin to rain down fire. The final throes of the cycle of the rites and the ending of the age. What? What? That's bullshit! Tizo is still there. No, 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 ah! Got a 2 for at least. Ah, crap. Got him. Okay, 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 okay. Nope! That's fine. Tizo's got it. These are my aces. Everyone can do offense and defense. Though not that well when I play like that. What? Got him. And dunked. It's true. So the false Nightwings bear their fangs at last. That cannot be your finest effort. You think you deserve your freedom more than I? Then fight for it, damn you!
How he has changed, that Orlek. Grown old.
Lightning Witch! I didn't even let you finish what you were saying, voice. That's how good I am. Orlek stands, breathing heavily. He looks back on the thin lick of flame that is his smoldering pyre, before turning his attention back to your triumvirate. Oh, nothing to say this time? Finally out of bravado. Oh. I don't like the look of that. Oh, that's just a hazard then.
Now, take it.
Got it. Take flight. Oh, damn it. I dropped it. It's stunned. Tizo. Bring it home, Tizo. Ah, shit. No. Flight. No! Fuck. Okay. Back to Tizo. Ah, shit.
Oralek has plunged into
Okay, that's fine. He got a hit in on me. That was dumb. I shouldn't have gone for that. Lightning Witch. Lightning Witch cannot be stopped!
And there it is, at last. The Night Wings proved their worth.
Woo!
As for their adversaries, they did not.
Maybe if you'd
Thus ends the liberation rite.
get
Thus,
dunked,
the
Oralek.
scribes have chosen.
Not bad there, reader darling. Just another night in the downside, no?
You look upon Pamatho for what you expect shall be the last time you see each other. Any moment now the Shimmer Pool shall engulf her. Any moment now she shall return to glory and join with Volfred's agents in the Commonwealth to help achieve the plan. Any moment now the cycle of the rite shall end, until at least the dawn of a new age. Any moment now...
And thus the scribes have chosen. And thus the scribes have chosen.
Is it not working? Are we
Thus the scribes have chosen.
are we too late?
No. Nightwings. Reader. What have you done?
What do you mean? Oh! Oralek was the appointed of the Nightwings. By appointing a second one, did I fuck it?
Damn. Did we already miss our chance?
Each prior time upon the fall of Solium, the Shimmer Pool has opened, following the Liberation Rite, and taken in whichever exile prevailed. But now all is still, and the light of the stars above has all but died. You sense a growing fear that it is already too late, that the Shimmer Pool shall not reveal itself again. Oralek approaches, his head bowed. The 8 scribes saved their greatest treachery for last. Then something else catches his notice. Wait. A sudden rush of starlight cascades through the stillness of the summit. The Shimmer Pool has appeared again, different somehow, but open. Pamatha looks upon it, but it does not engulf her, or at least not yet. It seems I was mistaken then. The 8 scribes. This is not their greatest treachery. It is their greatest jest. The Shimmer Pool is flung wide open. It seems that all are worthy now of freedom. Oralek strides toward the Shimmer Pool, but... Halt, Oralek! Oralek glances over at the lone minstrel, almost in surprise. The Shimmer Pool has lost most of its strength. You step inside and you shall surely drown. Of that, I can assure you. He laughs to himself at this. Then we have all been cheated. No, the Shimmer Pool is revealed, and one of you may still return, as planned. But, as for who returns, someone shall have to choose. Ere the last light of the stars is extinguished, and the rites cease to be. This is the final trial of the scribes. The final trial of the scribes. Metal Gear? Then, our confrontation, the liberation rite, was all meaningless? No. The victor of the confrontation is to be the one to make the choice, among those closest to the scribes. Either the anointed, or he who anointed them.
Then it's sounding rather like I can get out of here, though. Maybe you can, reader darling.
Aye, it shall be either you, the reader, or...
It shall be either or.
Hamatha, please, make your decision quickly, lest it shall be forfeit. I do not know for how much longer the light of the stars shall offer you this gift.
Quite the dilemma, but I think I know which way I'm leaning here. Reader darling, do me a favor now and get out of there. Before I go start having second thoughts.
Hamatha, you're too good to me. Babe. Hamatha wishes to give up her freedom so that you may regain yours. Very well. Reader, sir, the choice which Hamatha made, or rather, the choice which she gave, it is now yours to make instead.
This choice may keep bouncing back and forth like this? Absurd.
It may, until such time as one of you is willing to accept the burden and the outcome of the choice. That is the trial, and I fear that there is little time remaining now.
Reader, if you and your companion are too cordial with each other to accept that freedom, either one of you, then I shall gladly take it. Freedom ought be more than some flirtatious trifle to exchange.
Reader, what is your will? Well, you know, Hamatha... No, me. Your mind is made up. You have chosen to be free yourself. I see, and understand. Then, it is done. Hamatha looks to you this one last time, her heart filled with unspoken understanding. You turn then to the lone minstrel for an instant, but another instant later. He is gone, he and everyone. All you feel is the coldness of the rush of water coursing all around you. Because see, this just makes sense. Hamatha still has her sister. Tizo is a native, he'll survive. Bertrude has her coven of witches. Everyone's fine there. And Orlek? Fuck Orlek. Hamatha gave her freedoms that you may yet have yours. May I return in glory!
Godspeed, reader. By the scribes. No stars remain aloft. The cycle of the rites. It is finished. The Commonwealth. What shall become of it? What shall become of us?
Well said, Dredd.
Nightwings. The opportunity to gain your freedom from the downside. Was it not enough?
No. It's not enough for us to just selfishly regain our freedom. Ignore the fact that I just totally grasped the chance to selfishly claim my own freedom. But we must ensure everyone is free. Glory to the liberation! That night, an exiled reader returned to the Commonwealth. He was to be the last. The stars had faded, and the cycle of the rites had run its course. He found the Commonwealth in great upheaval. Spurred by the efforts of 6 liberated exiles, Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary plan had incited the masses. These exiles in the starless sky portended the return of the scribes. The people surged into the streets, shoulder to shoulder. Led by the 6 exiles, their voices shook the heavens. The leadership of the Commonwealth panicked. No blood was shed that night, and by dawn, it was over. The leaders of the Commonwealth had cast themselves back into exile, or joined in this new cause. Thus, in its 838th year, the Commonwealth had fallen. The new Saurian Union declared its sovereignty in the next year. Among the changes its elected leaders ushered in, they vowed never to cast their people into exile, and they abolished the old Commonwealth decree forbidding literacy. Hell yeah! Today, we still remember all of this. And we remember the exiles of the downside, whose deeds led to the dawning of our age, whether they returned or not. Oh, what's this? Oh, do I get, like, an epilogue for everyone? Ha, I do!
With the rights drawn to a close, the slug market's revenues fell precipitously, and Falcon Ron was forced to liquidate his assets and close up shop. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those of an entrepreneurial leaning, this time of hardship led to an epiphany, or at least a sudden change of fortune. One day, Falcon Ron had a run-in with a messenger imp bearing news from the other side. Ron gave it one of his remaining trinkets, which could not be sold. The following week, the messenger imp returned to him bearing a tidy sum of wealth in newly minted coinage from the Saurian Union. Falcon Ron cut a long-term deal with the messenger imp then and there. Though his trade remained a gray area from a legal standpoint in the Saurian Union, the newfound fame of the downside caused Falcon Ron's goods to explode in popularity. He later signed an elaborate agreement with Big Bertrude's and found a distribution partner on the other side through Rookie Greentail, whose own business had expanded. Especially in the Saurian Union, Falcon Ron's goods are still known for their superior quality, though he assumes no liability for any side effects.
Alright. Let's go. Let me go through all the leaders of the teams, the 2 guardians, and then I'll end it off with the squad. As the cycle of the rites drew to a close, it grew evident that a chance of freedom from the downside had forever slipped from Dalbert and Almer Oldheart's grasp. Thus, they and the exiles of fate returned to Dromer Valley. There they struggled to get by, as exiles of the downside tend to do. Sometime after the rites had ended, the Oldhearts at last heard the news that the Commonwealth had fallen. This was well after the fact, of course, but it brought old Dalbert great joy. Despite his forthright manner, he had no love for the nation that had cast him down along with his son. Dalbert Oldheart passed peacefully in his sleep before the next new moon. In his final days, he implored his son to undertake a pilgrimage to the scribes. Almer never shared his father's view of the scribes, but respected Dalbert's wishes. And so, after a period of mourning, Almer began a new journey. Not a day went by that Almer Oldheart did not think about his father, and give thanks to him, and speak to him, at morning and at night. Would that the stars yet shone, for surely Dalbart's would be there among them, smiling down at his son, and watching over him and his kin.
All his life, Sir Deluge had fled from one danger, only to find himself facing another. He had escaped the war-torn waters of the Sea Dominion. He had escaped the blood border of the Commonwealth, and now he had escaped the rites. After the rites had ended, many exiles wrapped up in the ancient test were crestfallen, as their last chances to return to their homes vanished, along with the stars above. But Deluge did not mind, for this outcome meant that at last there was no burden of responsibility weighing down on him. While most of his fellow exiles of the Pyrehearts yet longed for the waters of the Sea Dominion, driven as ever by their impulses toward conflict, Deluge settled down. With him remained one of his companions, one Lady Seagrass, who had taken a liking to him for some reason. Reportedly, they disappeared into the waters of Worm Gulf, which may begin to explain the significant increase in worm population observed in the vicinity.
It's funny, immediately when I started voicing him, I saw my viewer count drop. Sorry, I didn't like that guy, so I gave him a shitty voice. After the final liberation rite, Lendel refused to believe that the rites had truly ended. He would sit through night after consecutive night, staring into the blackness of the sky, awaiting any sign that he might gain another chance at freedom. No such sign ever came. His fellow accusers started to express concern for him. Survival had become their top priority, once liberty had slipped from their grasp. But Lendel dismissed them as weak fools. He insisted rather forcefully that any evening now the stars would shine for him again, and mark the way towards his inevitable freedom. He was, of course, mistaken. The others in his triumvirate were left with little choice but to abandon him. After that, the exile known as Lendel the Liar was never seen again. However, there have since been sightings of a bedraggled demon who wanders the downside and bears Lendel's cruel countenance, suggesting he yet lives.
Barker Ashpaws never had much interest in returning to the Commonwealth, but he always found his bylaws to be stifling, so when the rites ended, he did not care at first. He soon grew very bored. The rites had given his life a certain sense of structure he'd always needed. He missed the raw anticipation of it all. He decided to continue conducting the rites for the thrill of it. He bent some of the rules and replaced some of the objects, but it was close enough. His packmates, the dissidents, proved more than happy to participate, and thus they ran against each other back in Joma Valley. Gradually, other exiles familiar with the rites, as well as those who had not heard of it at all, started to take an interest. They ended up giving Barker Ashpaws some healthy competition. His old feud with Roki Greentail ceased meaning anything to him, and he forgot all about it amid his new pursuits. Ultimately, even Barker Ashpaws, who had led such a directionless existence to that point, found something of a calling through the rites. Whether he took the rites less seriously than any exile of his time, or more, was oft debated by those who watched him work.
That's kind of a good ending for him. He's just like, hey, let's just turn magical basketball into just like regular basketball. Good for him.
After the cycle of the rites had ceased, Witchwood Milde returned to the Flagging Hands region, where she sealed herself within the pit of Milithe. There, even her fellow exiles of the Withdrawn allegedly grew unnerved after a time and left her to her vile work. Some time later, the pit of Milithe erupted into flame. So intense was the conflagration that it could be seen all the way from Jomer Valley. Arson was suspected, though the cause was never verified, and many bog dwellers in the region were forced to flee. A tempest blowing from the north finally quenched the flames. When at last the ashes settled and the grounds had cooled, the sight of the fire was scarred beyond recognition. No trace of Witchwood Milde could be found. As for the contents of the pit of Milithe, which notably included a profane object thought to be the remains of Yislach, all of it was gone as well. Back in the Saurian Union, Woodmilde's repeated threats of the return of Yislach were thoroughly investigated, and no credence was found to any of her claims.
A sad ending for a religious fanatic. Get fucked. Throughout her exile, Tamitha Thane was motivated by a single goal: to return to the Commonwealth and exact vengeance on her ancient enemies. When she realized the rites had ended and that she would never see her mountain home again, she nonetheless remained determined to aid her people, however possible. She had gathered certain information pertaining to the intentions of the Nightwings, who had formed a pact to regroup on the other side after their liberation. Other such reports exposed certain weaknesses in the Commonwealth defenses and revealed to the Highwing remnants the opportunity for a risky but potentially impactful strike. As Tamitha could not participate in the assault, she learned what happened well after the outcome. On that night known as the Scribe's Return, the Commonwealth had fallen. The Highwing remnants thus prevailed at last, without even having to fight. Soon after the fall of the Commonwealth, Tamitha encountered her blood sister, Pamitha, come to pay her a visit. Pamitha had hoped their people's victory on the other side would be cause for reconciliation, Tamitha was skeptical of her intentions, however, and lashed out at her. Pamitha made no attempt to elude the attack and was struck full on. This cost Pamitha the use of her right wing. Yet after she recovered, she shrugged the incident aside and said maybe they would call it even now. From that point on, the Blood Sisters kept a formal distance, but were cordial with each other. Knowing that the conflict on the other side had ended, Tamitha retreated to the crags of Black Basin and grew ever more distant. Those closest to her surmised that her inability to reconcile with her blood sister was at the heart of this, though, for her part, Tamitha never once admitted to any such weakness. I mean, at least they kind of reconciled in the end. It's something. Oh boy, I need to drink of water before this one.
More spectacular.
When manly Tinderstaff recognized the rites had ended, and that he could no longer return to the Commonwealth through this ancient means, he was outraged! Yeah, still a bit of a forever grudge, but, you know, it's not a totally depressing ending, and she still kind of gets to win in the end, because the Commonwealth still falls. It's bittersweet. He cursed the scribe, spewing forth such a spew of blasphemy as to be very unbecoming of one of his high status and bearing. When at last he calmed himself, he focused all his energies on attempting to find another means of homecoming. He maintained regular contact with his wealthy family on the other side via messenger imp, and used their vast resources to explore other means of escape. He tried using an elaborate pulley system. He attempted to retrofit a flying black wagon with superior propulsion. He tried an imp-raft, a hot air balloon, even prayer. Nothing worked. There was only one way to escape the downside, and now it was gone. Tinderstaff bankrupted his family in these vain attempts. At last, such was his shame that he retreated to the teeming woods of Black Basin, the Cinder Root. There he yet wallows, complaining to his comrades of the chastity, who still put up with him, either about his own misfortune or the latest news from the other side. Good. I'm glad he suffers. He sucked. I loved to hate him, but he did not deserve to win. Once it became clear to Ignarius that the rites were drawn to a close, he knew that it was time for him and the Tempers to call it quits. But first, he and the Tempers decided to celebrate, and that they did for many, many nights. The revelry did eventually subside. The exiles parted amicably and went their separate ways. He roamed the downside then, searching for some meaning in his life, sometimes taking odd jobs requiring his brute strength. He never remained alone for very long and took on many lovers in his time, trust me. However, he sometimes thought about the one he had called Curly Horns, and what became of her. Those glory days as the most powerful conductor of the rites had long since passed. He always enjoyed the fearsome reputation he had cultivated at that time. Maybe he should found a series of, car dealerships. He's just let me for a little and gone. We all wish we were like that. I'm certainly not. After the shimmer pool closed for what would be the last time, Orlek looked around him, the flickering light of the Nightwing's still burning pyre. He then turned to the fall of Solium, looked up toward the black, starless sky. He cursed the 8 scribes then, one after the other. After that he strode forward, towards the waters coursing from the side of Mount Elodial, and without hesitating, he cast himself down. Orlek's body was never recovered. The drop from Mount Elodial does not appear survivable, though Orlek did survive it once. That time, however, he was filled with fury. Such was the betrayal he had suffered when his fellow exile claimed his rightful freedom. This time, Orlek was filled with nothingness and chose to leave the downside in the one way he still knew he could. The other Nightwings who were witness to this never forgot what they saw. I mean, that's a lesson. You held on to your grudge way past the point of relevancy. We were not the same team that fucked you over before. And you let it consume you. After the cycle of the rites had ceased turning, the lone minstrel bade the remaining Nightwings take the Black Wagon and seek their fortunes elsewhere in the downside. Their parting was heartfelt, but brief. He remained there at the summit of Mount Elodio with Celeste, where the two of them would chronicle the final outcome of the cycle. Neither Tarek nor Celeste were ever seen again. We know all this now through song attributed to them. Some claim these songs originated in the taverns of the Saurian Union, and merely were imbued with the weight of folklore. However, exiles liberated from the downside corroborated each other's claims at having met this duo that presided over the liberation rites. Another folktale suggests these minstrels were heralds of the scribes. Having fulfilled their obligations, they departed the world we know and rejoined their patrons. One of their famous songs describes another, simpler outcome, that the two gave up their duties to the rites in favor of a life that they could share together. In any case, they are likely to remain the subject of such verses and such songs, for it was they who watched over the rites and ushered in our times. You know what? They have each other in the end. Alright. Let's go from the start. Our golden boy, our precious, precious boy, who we ascended first. After his liberation, Hedwyn was instrumental in the events leading to the fall of the Commonwealth, and was vital to the outcome of the plan. The peaceful outcome of the scribe's return was attributed to several key factors. One of them was the underlying ambition of the plan itself. Another was Hedwyn's visibility among the people in the streets, identified to be a liberated exile, who was believed to be Golgothanian reborn. More importantly, however, was that one of the winged harps of the High-Wing remnants accompanied him. She was later identified as Fikani Shang. His girlfriend was a harpy! Oh! Their bond was symbolic of what was at stake that night, and proved vital to the peace that followed. In all his days as a leader in the Saurian Union, Hedwyn oft confided in his friend Jodariel. Despite her intense manner, there was no one whom he trusted more in times when circumspection was required. Hedwyn would often think back about the vow he made at the beginning of his quest for freedom. Although he cherished all the freedoms he made, he had pledged to Jodariel, Ruki Greentail, and the reader of the Nightwings that they might all be free again together. What a transition, right? His promise had come to pass. Though he always knew that this was not his own doing, he was always deeply grateful to the other three, his closest friends. While the others who stood with the Nightwings were not all able to remain in contact thus, Hedwyn thought of each of them often, and so, in turn, did they oft think of him. After her liberation, Jodariel soon became an icon of the movement that led to the collapse of the Commonwealth and the rise of the Saurian Union. Her horns and stern countenance inspired the people to believe that she was solely a Mer reborn. She became a great, if reluctant, leader. In the uncertain times that followed, Jodariel's seasoned expertise often came into play both in matters of security and of state. For instance, she conscripted and trained a team of volunteers in public safety. The community did not know what to make of such a cordial bunch at first, but soon came to value their service. They have stood for the people ever since. We celebrate their founding day each year. She remained close with Hedwyn all through this experience. They supported each other through their struggles many, many times. She kept an eye on Shay, who, nonetheless, demonstrated a surprising knack to get by on her own, though Jodariel was always willing to provide assistance, just in case. She continued training on her own, a regimen that grew stricter with each passing year. There were those who sought to train with her, and she sometimes obliged. There remained one other constant in her life. She would always remember her days among the Nightwings, and with fondness, for the most part. Ooh, I am burning through this water bottle.
Concealed
After Rookie Greentail earned back his freedom, he returned to a lavish welcome ceremony in the Commonwealth, as was the tendency for liberated exiles. It was everything he could have hoped for, and soon he was well off, surrounded by luxury, and choosing between various exciting opportunities. However, he must have given in to his better judgment, as he did end up siding with Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary forces, as he promised. On the night of Scribe's return, Greentail was there with many others, inspiring the masses. He never looked prouder, the very image of Jomer Many-Made himself. When dawn finally came and it became clear that the Commonwealth that everybody knew would be no more, he realized many new opportunities awaited. He began quite a lucrative career for himself, manufacturing and selling replica merchandise inspired by the downside. His main struggle was to meet demand. An aspect of his conscience cautioned him that making light of such a thing, but the money was too good, and soon his family was as well off as he always said. He also kept in close touch with Gilman, ever the perfect practice partner. They would train together often, taking care to stay in tip-top shape as much as possible throughout the years. Greentail always did his best to keep in touch with all his many friends, and he knew that he owed his fortunes to them. He made a special point of staying close with the group of friends he came to know so well during his time with the Nightwings, wherever they were. They shared a special understanding that put even Greentail at a loss for words sometimes.
Then next was Shay?
The Commonwealth had never provided a sense of home for the one they had called Shay the Shoddy, so she was surprised on her return that she was so well treated. She felt uneasy about it, and besides, she knew that she would do her best to fulfill the pledge she had made to her friends. Even she could not have expected the impact she would have on the events that followed, which gave rise to our Saurian Union. Despite not fitting the image of any of the 8 scribes, Shay nonetheless stood out alongside the others, amid the teeming masses on the night of Scribe's return. She spoke of the scribes with such conviction and sincerity that the crowd was very moved. After the fall of the Commonwealth, there was a renewed interest in the legend of the 8 scribes, and many new interpretations of their histories and teachings. Shay found herself at the center of all this. Her way of speaking continued to compel a growing audience. She swayed many people from their astralist beliefs. Soon, the 8th word, which had lost favor with the people during the reign of the Commonwealth, sought her out and asked her formally to join, and she did, right away.
Theocratic sect believing that the 8 scribes were more than mortal and their words divine. Okay.
Through it all, she would wonder how her little friend Tizo had fared. While they were divided now by a great distance, he always remained in her heart. She cited her relationship with Jordariel as the single most important in her life. Jordariel would always provide for her a circumspect perspective and the wisdom of experience. Whether she felt genuine doubt, which was not very often, she sought out the reader of the Nightwings. There was anyone whom she trusted as much as the scribes, it was him. Shay was always devoted to her faith, but more so to her friends. Many people in the Saurian Union cited that her gentle manner and unwavering conviction helped them brave the changing times with courage and with grace.
When the worm Gilman returned to the Commonwealth, he believed that he had regained something even more important than his freedom, his honor. Gilman relinquished his knighthood and declined an opportunity to serve as captain on the Blood Border. He was not interested in fighting any longer. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those such as he, a circumstance soon came about in which there came a need for him to once again make use of his military training. Thankfully, however, as the scribe's return ended peaceably, Gilman was on edge throughout that night, expecting violence to erupt at any moment, but the moment never came. When the matter was at last put to rest, then Gilman truly knew his time as the knight had ended. He declared to all those in earshot that he would never fight again.
Unless, of course, there arose some other extraordinary set of circumstance, again requiring him to fight, but he certainly hoped not. He still trained regularly, just in case, especially with his fleet-footed friend, Rookie Greentail. He was always grateful for the counsel of the reader, and would regale him over and over about the time they squashed the spawn of unfathomed cleverness. By that point, he had long forgotten about his days under the leadership of Sir Deluge, his former commander. Breaking free of his abusive leadership was his first step toward gaining a bit of self-respect. Gilman never did return to his homeland of the Sea Dominion, and was content to lead a monastic life on a small residence in the hills. Was just high up enough to make him keep striving to conquer his fear of heights. Other than that, an intense daily training regimen and the occasional visit from an old companion was more than enough to keep him optimistic and engaged. He knew by then that honor was not something to be won, but a contract with oneself to be renewed each day. When Volfred Sandalwood regained his freedom, he knew that his work had only just begun. The nation that had exiled him to life in the downside now prepared to honor him. But he was not interested in such ceremony, nor in freedom on the Commonwealth's own terms. He soon rejoined his agents, with whom he had been coordinating for years, slowly, carefully preparing for a night that soon would come. For Sandalwood and his loyalists and sympathizers, true freedom was at stake, not just theirs, but that of everyone living under the Commonwealth. He hoped to gather liberated exiles representing each of the 8 largest ethnic groups composing the population of the Commonwealth. They would stand together as a vision of the 8 scribes returned, inspiring the masses to embrace an older set of values from before the Commonwealth had tightened its grip. With the rites having ended sooner than expected, this optimal scenario became impossible. But Sandalwood did not relent, and prepared to execute his plan, imperfect though it was. On the night of Scribe's return, he stood as one of 6 former exiles of the Nightwings, and their voices echoed together through the streets. These former exiles, who ought to have disappeared into the ranks of the Commonwealth's own leadership, now stood united with the people, who poured from their homes in solidarity. It was imperative to Sandalwood that this stand against the Commonwealth be peaceful in its nature. An overwhelming show of popular support would be more than enough. Ensuring that this was his priority that night, and in the end, the result was self-evident. The plan's goal had been achieved. Sandalwood's work was far from over still. He labored ceaselessly with representatives from across the population to restore a sense of stability. This transitional period had its troubles, though none that were not quickly solved. Such was the will and spirit of the people. They understood their freedom carried new responsibility. After the Saurian Union was born the next year, Sandalwood was elected as the nation's first prime minister. It was not his intent to run for this office, but the people chose him anyway. Very George Washington of him. He led our fledgling nation through its nascent years. He invited the perspective of the reader of the Nightwings at every opportunity, and counted him one of his chief advisors and most trusted friends. As Volfred Sandalwood gained more fame throughout this land for all his sacrifices and his contributions, he remained ever steadfast about 2 things. The first was that the cause itself ought to remain in focus. The freedom that the people had achieved, it was a gift to be cherished, a set of values that needed to be nurtured. The second point he made was that he himself had little to do with the outcome. He would often praise the exiles of the Nightwings who had stood with him, each in turn by name. He never forgot any of them. One day on his birthday, the people of the Saurian Union presented to him a monument depicting him and the Nightwings as imagined in their prime. It has since ensured that those of us with memories more valuable than that of Sandalwood likewise remember the achievements of his fellow former exiles and our cause. Honest Wood. Nice thread. I like it. After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, records of what happened to the Black Wagon and the Nightwings become inconclusive and contradictory. Some accounts suggest that the exiles of the Nightwings, who remained in the downside, continued to make use of the Black Wagon as their place of shelter and their means of travel. However, there is no record of what happened to the wagon's contents, such as the Book of Rites, or the Beyonder Crystal, said to be haunted by the apparition Sandra the Unseeing. One possibility is that, when the lone minstrel took his leave, he took the Beyonder Crystal with him, for he was thus obliged. By this line of reasoning, however, the Black Wagon itself should have been taken also. Others remain skeptical that the Beyonder Crystal ever existed, or rather that the visions that it granted were anything other than the result of an active imagination or a fever dream. The bog dwellers of the southern bogs offer still another explanation, for they are familiar with binding enchantments. If there existed such an object, in which the Sister of the Arch had been expelled for more than 800 years, the enchantment could have expired along with the light of the stars. What this would have meant for Sandra and the Beyonders is difficult to say for certain, other than it may have meant that they were finally released. Nevertheless, the fates of Sandra and the Beyonder Crystal remain unknown. Yet those exiles in the Nightwings who claim to have seen this apparition all spoke with her with degrees of reverence or perhaps a little fear. I like that she just kind of passes into legend. Alright, that leaves our 3 that were left behind.
Once the rites had ended, the imp Tizo had a job to do. Quite unlike most of the exiles trapped forever in the downside, the lone minstrel asked that he watch over the Black Wagon, which the Nightwings had used extensively for travel and for shelter, all throughout their quest. Tizo obliged, for he knew that wagon, as well as its drive imp inhabitants, perhaps better than anyone. What became of the wagon exactly was never verified, as evidence of Tizo's thorough work. After that, he liked to while away his days with any of his friends, or else with fellow imps. Volfred Sandalwood would sometimes send him little gifts, all the way from the downside. Despite the insurmountable distance between them, their friendship proved more than resilient. Tizo often missed his interactions with the Reader of the Nightwings. They had quickly built quite a rapport back in the downside. Indeed, Tizo would often express wistful gratitude for all his time with the Nightwings and their many adventures throughout the land that was always his home. Other than that, Tizo would sometimes help interpret for messenger imps relaying news to and from the Saurian Union. Despite having gained sufficient celebrity abroad, he never let it go to his head, and he would go fishing in the Sea of Solace at every single chance he got. See, Tizo's does alright. I knew he'd survive and thrive. I'll save Pamitha for last. Several exiles of the Nightwings cared more for the plan of Sandalwood than to return home from the downside. The crone called Big Bertrude was a prime example. She had found a suitable environment to live within the dismal region known as Flagon Hands. There she had built up a thriving place of business known to many exiles in the land. With the rites having ended, she returned to her preoccupations, working away almost as though nothing had happened. When one gets to be more than 400 years of age, perhaps then even monumental events such as the culmination of the rites or the collapse of the Commonwealth are seen as trifling matters. Much of her effort was doubtless due to the influence of Sandalwood, someone whom she had admired now for decades. Though they were very far apart now, she sought out news as to his whereabouts and found his actions in the Saurian Union a rare source of inspiration.
She maintained an unlikely kinship with the harp, Pamitha Thane, whom she had known during that time together on the Nightwings. They each had different strategies for dealing with life's day-to-day annoyances, a subject that they both found vital, if not fascinating to no end. By and large, Bertrude kept focused on her work. Whether casting small enchantments or imbuing talismans, the work brought her a sense of purpose, she would say. In the Commonwealth, such services were strictly forbidden, but in the downside there was a real need for simple luxuries, which the competing slug market could not always provide. Thus did Big Bertrude continue to live up to her name. The tales of her days with the Nightwings made her that much more the living legend. I knew she'd do alright. Alright, Pamitha, babe. I anointed you so you could gain your freedom, and you gave it up. For me. Thank you. How did things turn out? We know a little bit about how things went with your sister. What about the rest, girl? After the rites ended, Pamitha Thane parted ways with the other Nightwings, stating that she needed time alone. She reappeared sometime after the fall of the Commonwealth, though she expressed mild surprise at the news. She claimed to have no knowledge of what went on, including what role the Highwing remnants had in the events that reshaped the world on the other side. For her part, Pamitha feigned little interest, making the point that they were stuck, and what happened elsewhere had little to do with them now. Someone with whom she kept in contact was a bog dweller called Big Bertrude. They would discuss all sorts of matters long into the night, and sometimes hunt together too. One day, while traveling to Black Basin, Pamitha ran into her blood sister Tamitha, for the first time since the conclusion of the rites. Their reunion was not as amicable as Pamitha might have hoped, and Tamitha, still resentful of their history together, turned violent. Pamitha would later brush aside the incident, though always had an injury to show for it. Yet from that point on, the blood sisters were back on speaking terms, at least for the most part. Having long since felt as though she had no home to call her own, Pamitha continued traveling about the downside. As the tempest swept across the land, changing its features, she found it in a sublime beauty, and in the starless nights, she could still see just fine. She said such travels tended to remind her of when she was younger and could fly unfettered. There is one more account which warrants mention. The Nightwings conducted the rites under the guidance of a reader. Little is known of him. However, some accounts of him begin to paint a picture. We know he was of common birth, weak-framed, though raised with a penchant for learning. The journey to the downside left him close to death. It was then that the Nightwings found him. They brought him from the brink. He showed them the path. He pressed onward with the others. He vowed the Commonwealth would pay for what it did to him. Thus did the cycle of the rites commence its final turns. When the final rite arrived, the reader's freedom was at stake. The freedom that he indeed achieved ere the morning's light. From that point on, accounts of him diverge. It is said that the voice which troubled him, he never heard again. Some say he chose to tend the Saurian Union's land, though whether that is true, only he knows. Someday, perhaps, that reader's own star shall emerge. Then it shall pierce the dark of night in all its brilliant glory. Until such time, and ever after, all of us give thanks.
Their journey began on a barren waste where the reader arrived.
Take us away, Tarek.
When he arrived, the book of rights awakened the Nightwings and ignited the flame. They follow the stars,
Oh my god, is it gonna show all the exiles I liberated? It is!
We sing of the last of the night wings who, having broken the cycle,
Headwing. Jodariel.
shall live on in song. Headwind prevailed and strode
Aww.
the path that his heart laid before him.
Look at Ruki and Jodariel.
Way home.
Yeah, exactly. Soul Cannons and Fuga, but more wholesome.
Dariel, mother to many a foundling, she has found her
Ruki.
way home. Ruki Greentail has proved his worth and returned to his family by the grace of the scribe.
This is crazy that they have a verse for each companion I liberated.
They follow the stars
Absolutely wild.
together, strands in a braid till the end. The moon touched
Sorry for being quiet. I don't want to stomp on this. This is beautiful.
the scribes in the world all around her.
Oh, look at her. Wait, Tizo is there. That's not canon. Oh, it's all of them. Yeah, Supergiant, don't miss.
Ever in his quest, finding honor and glory, he has found his way home. Amith Thane, born on guilty wings, ever seeking forgiveness, she remained till the end. They follow the stars bound together, strands in a braid till
The voice was Logan Cunningham? Wait, didn't he? Oh my god, that dude's got more range than I realized. Seriously impressive. Yeah,
Alfred prevailed as the night wings
wholeheartedly agreed, Dread.
led them to glory.
Oh, look at him chilling with Bertrude.
Found his way.
Scheming.
The bog dweller Bertrude kept their foes at bay with her finest enchantments. She remained till the end.
Not sure if I like the sudden inclusion of brass.
The reader at last made the night wings whole and ascended to freedom. He has found his way home. They follow the stars.
Man, great game, great game. When I first heard of this game, I didn't know how they were going to execute on magical basketball to ascend to heaven, but they did it. Never doubt Supergiant. Never doubt Supergiant. Oh, that's me in the cloak in the middle there. Nice way of preserving the self-insert there.
As we bid farewell and return to the stars, we shall find our way home.
I do think that among Supergiant's excellent games,
We shall find
this is probably my least favorite. I'm sorry, but it's still really good. Well worth the play, and I'm glad I have finally now played all of Supergiant's library. Not Hades 2 yet, because I'm waiting for that to get a full release. Because I have faith enough in them that, you know, I generally don't buy early access anyway, and I want to have the full experience. That's all. Still, great game. Really made me agonize over the choices, though it got kind of easier for me as the party thinned out, weirdly. Like, my final couple of choices, like, I feel like I was supposed to agonize and, like, try to figure out, but I was just like, nah, easy. I already know this one. So when I know that that part hit home as strongly for me as it did for some people, and, like, Orlek is not really super well realized as a villain. But yeah, the gameplay is weird. I came around to it, but still not necessarily my favorite. The end. Well, thank you, Supergiant, for another banger. I'm sad I skipped this one when it came out, because it was like Magic Basketball from the Bastion people? Wait, true Nightwing campaign mode? Wait, where I would play as Orlek? Hang on. Hold up. Oh, it's just a new difficulty. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's not what I expected. Alright, well, this has been fantastic, and yeah, that brings to an end my time with Pyre. So I'm gonna start to wrap it up. Shorter than before, but hey, good note to end it off on, and it would feel a little lame to just immediately fire up some, like, I don't know, gambling game to waste time with or something. Yeah, exactly! I'm always happy to have more story. That was, like, my main gripe with Transistor. I was like, this story is good, what if it is there, but I want more. Big ol' story nerd when it comes to games, which often causes my suffering, because sometimes game storytelling is not great. So, Sundays going forward, I will be playing No Umbrellas Allowed, which is a cyberpunk pawn shop simulator with a similar story that seems to carry some hints of, like, oppression and revolution, and, you know, it's gonna have me doing a capitalism. And if you see me play Reciteer or Potionomics, or just any game where money's involved, you know I love to do a capitalism. Yeah, it did have that sense of discovery. I just wish there was a little more to discover. And it was just that there was a little more clarity offered. Minor gripe on the whole, though, as that game, I think, has my favorite gameplay out of anything Supergiant's put out. I loved that combat system so much. But anyway, that is going to start to do it for me. I will be back on Wednesday, where I will be starting Coffee Talk, some chill visual novel, coffee serving vibes, and Saturday with Shuffle Machine, where I change random games between every 30 seconds and every 10 minutes, automatically, powered by AI, because I'm a masochist, apparently. Right, Pyre does not run in the background. I don't see anyone online streaming who I know, so I guess I will just end it off there. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Spend a little bit of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it may be for you. Jesus, I can't talk anymore. Too many emotions. Hope you've enjoyed this ride as much as me, and if you're watching the VODs, as always, I see you. I appreciate you. My name is Vimbert, or Vimbert if you prefer. I'll see you around the internets.